What levels of cheating have there been?
Well, the levels of cheating have certainly increased during the coronavirus pandemic. There's been some evidence of that from studies around the world. Exactly the levels is quite hard to determine, but also we have some evidence recently from the University of New South Wales and University of Sydney that they're catching more cases, which is probably a matter of better detection rather than necessarily more cases actually happening.
So this is cheating on exams or in completing assessments or both?
All kinds of assessments. So cheating on exams, particularly online exams, are a little bit more cheatable than a supervised exam. Essentially, students can cheat on any form of assessment, but it's a lot harder to cheat on some kinds of assessments than others. It requires more planning and effort, and that planning and effort, if it takes a lot to cheat, students are better off putting it into actually studying for their course rather than trying to cheat.
So is the move to online teaching and exams, that's what's responsible for the spike in cheating cases, is it? Or is there something else going on?
Not entirely. So through the coronavirus pandemic, there's been a few things that have happened altogether that have potentially increased cheating. One of them is just the stress and anxiety of the coronavirus pandemic itself. We know that students cheat more when they're under pressure and when they feel stressed and anxious. Also, the move to online teaching, which is a lot of that has been to try to make classes accessible when people can't get together in the same place. That hasn't necessarily been done well, particularly when it was done quickly. And we know students cheat more when they're dissatisfied with the quality of their education. So there's a couple of things like that that have been a problem.
And there are concerns that the scale of these breaches has, quote, normalised cheating. Is that what's happening? Once some students start doing it, the momentum builds until it does become a normal thing to do.
It's potentially the case that students are affected by what other students are doing. So if they think other students are cheating and getting away with it, it can certainly be an encouragement of sorts for them to try to cheat themselves. And that's one of the reasons why it's so good to see some of these universities getting really good at detecting some of the more serious forms of cheating, like students getting other people to do their assessments for them, because that's sending a great message back to students that this is not something that you can readily get away with.
How's this going to impact academic standards, though, Guy, and the quality of the graduates coming through the system over the pandemic years?
It does raise some questions. So if there are students who are getting away with cheating, then we don't know whether they're leaving university having met the learning outcomes of their course. That can be quite serious in situations where the safety of people depend on the professionals that they're interacting with knowing what they're doing. So certainly that's a big concern. And once again, I'd say the universities that are getting good at detecting instances of serious cheating are really doing Australia a big favour, because they're making it certainly the case that employers can be more reliant on graduates from those institutions.